what I saw in the future, and answer your question, Madeline, is the future that I saw in 2045 was one in which society had survived. I remember the young people who were walking around that facility being sort of taller and thinner and a little bit more intelligent than contemporary humans. It was a multiracial group of people working at the facility. I believe it was in the United States. I have no reason to believe it was outside the States. It probably was even in the Southwest because the terrain was sort of that red earth with kind of desert vegetation that you find in Sedona, Arizona, or in Flagstaff. It may very well have been Sedona. I was thinking of that. It could have been outside of Phoenix, perhaps, but a little bit more red than that. And people were rolling by through this industrial park-like facility on the sedgeways that Dean Kamen has invented in our time. So we know that his device is adopted to move people around office buildings in these kinds of industrial parks. There were no automobiles because teleportation was being used by the public. There was no air pollution that I could sense. There was a lush garden suburb landscape, as if we had finally resolved the environmental polarization of our time by creating densely vegetative garden cities, sort of in that tradition that emanates from Ebenezer Howard and Patrick Geddes and Louis Mumford, and, into the neo-traditional town planners and sustainability thinkers of our time. They clearly had created an industrial park that was very garden-like and very richly, ecologically robust. And people were very friendly. They knew who I was as some kind of person of interest from the past, because one time when I walked through the lobby of the building to go and get the data scrolls from the fellow there who we would always meet with, two young women from the project walked past me in the lobby and pointed to me and said, "Oh, that's Andy. That one must be Andy." So these were the kinds of strange experiences in the project as a kid that I had to resolve to figure out what had happened to me and how all this data fit together. But now I realize that they identified me because of the prominence that I'm now finding and will in the future regarding being the child on the project who then went on to disclose what the project achieved and write a book about it and so forth.